Vienna, January 9. Number 1. Dear Mr. Stead, the Tsar is ready to disarm. I am ready to disarm. Collect the others. It should not be much of a task now. Mark Twain. Number 2. Dear Mr. Stead, peace by compulsion. That seems a better idea than the other. Peace by persuasion has a pleasant sound, but I think we should not be able to work it. We should have to tame the human race first, and history seems to show that cannot be done. Can't we reduce the armaments little by little on a pro rata basis by concert of the powers? Can't we get 4 great powers to agree to reduce their strength 10% a year and thrash the others into doing likewise? For, of course, we cannot expect all of the powers to be in their right minds at one time. It has been tried. We are not going to try to get all of them to go into the scheme peaceably, are we? In that case, I must withdraw my influence, because, for business reasons, I must preserve the outward signs of sanity. 4 is enough if they can be securely harnessed together. They can compel peace, and peace without compulsion would be against nature and not operative. A sliding scale of reduction of 10% a year has a sort of plausible look, and I am willing to try that if 3 other powers will join. I feel sure that the armaments are now many times greater than necessary for the requirements of either peace or war. Take wartime, for instance. Suppose circumstances made it necessary for us to fight another Waterloo, and that it would do what it did before, settle a large question and bring peace. I will guess that 400,000 men were on hand at Waterloo. I have forgotten the figures. In 5 hours, they disabled 50,000 men. It took them that tedious long time because the firearms delivered only 2 or 3 shots a minute. But we would do the work now as it was done at Omdurman, with shower guns, raining 600 balls a minute. 4 men to a gun, is that the number? 150 shots a minute per man. Thus, a modern soldier is 149 Waterloo soldiers in one. Thus, also, we can now retain 1 man out of each 150 in service, disband the others, and fight our Waterloos just as effectively as we did 85 years ago. We should do the same beneficent job with 2,800 men now that we did with 400,000 then. The Allies could take 1,400 of the men and give Napoleon 1,400 and then whip him. But instead, what do we see? In wartime, in Germany, Russia, and France, taken together, we find about 8 million men equipped for the field. Each man represents 149 Waterloo men in usefulness and killing capacity. Altogether, they constitute about 350 million Waterloo men, and there are not quite that many grown males of the human race now on this planet. Thus we have this insane fact, that whereas those three countries could arm 18,000 men with modern weapons and make them the equals of 3 million men of Napoleon's day, and accomplish with them all necessary war work, they waste their money and their prosperity creating forces of their populations and piling together 349,982,000 extra Waterloo equivalents, which they would have no sort of use for if they would only stop drinking and sit down and sigh for a little. Perpetual peace we cannot have on any terms, I suppose, but I hope we can gradually reduce the war strength of Europe till we get it down to where it ought to be, 20,000 men properly armed. Then we can have all the peace that is worthwhile, and when we want a war, anybody can afford it. Vienna, January 9. P.S. In the article I sent, the figures are wrong. 350 million ought to be 450 million. 349,982,000 ought to be 449,982,000. And the remark about the sum being a little more than the present number of males on the planet, that is wrong, of course. It represents really 1.5 the existing males.